Hey everybody, Chris here. Another Sunday dump in the crypto market affecting Dogecoin and cryptos across the board. A lot of red. We're going to talk about that in this video. Please be sure to subscribe to my channel. Hit that little notification bell too. You can be notified when the videos come out as well as when I do live streams. Was enjoying a nice Sunday afternoon concert out in Tanglewood. Met my friend from New York there. Enjoying ourselves and having a nice dinner after the concert. And I just check my phone and I see the red start and I'm like, hey, here we go again, right? So what's causing this? Why is it going down? And what are we going to do about it? Let's get into it. Let me show you the charts in the news. I'll show you what I'm looking at. And we start here looking at the current Dogecoin price. We're at 22.22. That's right, 22.22. Here was the Sunday evening dump. Right there in Doge, came down to about 22.26, started to recover again, and then overnight dropped all the way down and bounced off of this yellow line, which is 22 cents. 22 cents, hey, that's where we just were, right here. We were just there on Thursday. And then before that, we were there again last Tuesday. And then before that, that's where we were on August 7th. So we have a very strong support line here at 22 cents. And I know a lot of you are looking at like 21, 20, 16, 9, whatever. But this is where we are right now. What are you going to do about it, right? It's not just Dogecoin either. Look at Bitcoin's pullback. I mean, look at that. We were up over 118, dump, 117, 116, now 115. So weakness across the crypto market. It's not just Dogecoin, weakness across the crypto market. ETH down to 4,200. We hit just below 4,250 earlier this morning. So that's the state of affairs right now. Again, it's August, as I say, right? The summer of chop. Right? We are in the chop zone again. This is expected. We're going to have these ups and we're going to have these downs. It doesn't mean anything bigger than that. But Ash Crypto is like, got red across the crypto market. Everything is in the red. Why is crypto dumping? Bitcoin, ETH, alts are down 5 to 10% today. First, we have this White House meeting today on Monday, right? Trump will meet with Zelensky and EU leaders to discuss the Russia-Ukraine peace deal. Some are saying that it'll happen, while some think not, causing uncertainty. The market does not like uncertainty. That is true. The market does not like uncertainty. There are some who say, right, war is good for economy, right? Because you're building things, right? Even though they're just getting used, but people are, they're building things. The war economy, right? And if you have peace and like there's no more war, right? Then the economy pulls back. So there is something to say about that. But that's kind of a weird thing, right? Because you got people dying. And it's just like, I'd rather have peace and just, let's settle this thing. Is there going to be a peace agreement today? Most likely not. That's not how these things work. But the Trump administration is doing the best they can to try and get something resolved here. And I know there's all sorts of other, I don't want to get all into the politics. We're just looking at the financial side of it. Market uncertainty. Leverage flush. Yes. Nothing goes up in a straight line. ETH pumped 50% in 2 weeks. Alts pumped even more. This resulted in people opening high leverage positions, and now exchanges are flushing them. We talk about this on this channel all the time. You guys are sick of hearing me talk about it, but this is somebody else saying the same thing in a slightly different way. Once it's over, big money will buy the dips and a price reversal will start. Yeah, buy the dips. There it is again, right? Buy the dips. The rate cut odds. 1 week ago, there was almost a 100% probability of a September rate cut. But then we had this PPI data, and now it's down to like 84%. The market now pricing this uncertainty in, so we get a dump. So what's next, right? Well, today, the White House meeting will remove most of the market uncertainties. No, it won't. I don't agree with that. There's even going to be more, I believe, and we'll be talking about that on the Monday live stream. So join in, make sure you're subscribed, you got your notifications on. We'll keep you up to date that, but I'm usually right about these things, and this is just another one. Also, the September rate cut will most likely happen, so don't panic about it. And that, again, is going to be uncertainty right up until September 17th. We still have a month to wait for that. This dump is just to give better entries to big players before the market goes parabolic. Well, it doesn't just have to be big players. It can be you as well. So you can either complain about the dump or you can take advantage of it. And I'll give you some more examples in just a minute. Bitcoin Census says JP Morgan, 4 Fed rate cuts coming in 2025. But wait, Vivek says Goldman Sachs expects the Fed to cut interest rate 3 times this year. Well, what's it going to be? Probably 2. Because these guys don't know. They're not even quoting any sources. They're just making stuff. I don't. Let's just get one rate cut first, guys, okay? And let's go from there, right? ETH, seasonality. Let's talk about ETH for a minute. Pullback in September, followed by euphoria in Q4. Let's call it Qphoria, right? Let's call it Qphoria coming. Every 4 years, here we are, 2025, following pullbacks in September of 12 and 21%, and then we have big green rest of the year. So, this is what's coming. Typically, August is good, right? For ETH, look at that, 35% in 2021, 92% in 2017 in August before a September pullback. So, if we follow that pattern, September will be a red month, and then we go from there. Most likely, a lot of those losses are the first part of September, and we could follow that and have some recovery later in September. It's kind of what I've been thinking, but we'll see how that plays out. Michael Vanderpump says, look, you don't buy during extreme highs, you buy during corrections. Again, another way to say another one of Chris's sayings here, right? You don't buy the green candles, you buy the red candles, right? Except if you're buying Bitcoin at the top, which I did just for the fun of it. Just for the fun of it, but you know, we do these things. Yeah, you don't buy the big green candle, you buy the red candles, and we got red candles now. So, ETH hit his first zone that he was looking at, right? Area to buy for bounces. But he says ETH under 4,000 is an extreme opportunity on the markets. Are we going to get this deeper dump? Is this still coming? And there could be. And you can either complain about it or you can do something about it and buy more. Trader Allen's like, Dogecoin been forming a flag consolidation. We've got some anomalies below, some anomalies above. We've got lower RSI. So if we have the lowering RSI, there's some weakness there, I believe. Some say this is bullish. And I'm like, well, it looks bearish to me, right? Lower RSI, but the price is actually higher lows with the lower RSI. So a little bit of an offset there. Dogecoin sellers in control. Monero attacker votes to target Doge. So there's this 51% thing that's out there, right? 51% attack. They were attacking Monero in this group. I mean, basically, they said that they were successful, but they really didn't do anything negative. Are they just proving a point? And this is all on the mining side. And I don't completely understand what the 51% attacks are meant to prove, other than they could do it. This is more FUD that's thrown out there, I believe. Dogecoin, I think, is a much stronger network than Monero. So we'll see how that happens. But Cubic had launched this, what they call a successful 51% attack. But they didn't like shut the network down, and they didn't change the protocol or didn't do anything like that. But it does lead to like Doge futures open interest adjusted cumulative value. Delta indicator dropped nearly 1% in the past 24 hours, the largest among the top 25 cryptocurrencies by market value. So, we'll see. But, you know, it's not just Doge, though. cryptos like Bitcoin, ETH, similar bearish profile. Link is doing well, but then had its own little pullback. Bitcoin is below 116K. You've got, persistent uncertainty surrounding key economic indicators. All of that is just kind of a negative market. But look, here's what you could do about it. We'll talk more about this 51% attack if you want to during the live stream. I'm not going to get into all the details now. But here's what Lark reminds us over the past 4 years, right? If you survived the COVID crash, well, that's a little bit longer ago, the initial, right? But that, again, was a sign, right? You buy on the fear. The Luna crash, the Celsius collapse, Voyager as well, and USDC, USDT DPEGs, the FTX collapse, the Binance, BNB FUD, the whole bear market, right? Which essentially was all of that. Operation Choke Point, the German sell-off, Black Monday, August 5th, war and recession fears, tariff wars, and more recession fears, right? And here we are again, like with Doge, 51% attack, right? What do you do about this stuff, right? If you had bought after each one of these, you'd be very rich right now, right? That's how crypto is, right? The markets are going to dump again and again and again and again and again. So it doesn't mean everything's going to zero. In fact, everything keeps going up, right? Over time. And what does that mean for Dogecoin? Dogecoin ETFs, Grayscale just went full send, right? Grayscale, they're huge. And they've got their S1 now with the SEC for their spot Dogecoin ETF. BitOrigin flexing hard, first ever Dogecoin treasury on NASDAQ, now holding over 70 million Dogecoin. So this is all building for what is coming. And Trader Allen's like, look, Dogecoin is nearing the final stages of consolidation before this big pump that is coming. And when we look at Doge, we're like, look, only the tip of the iceberg is visible. The potential is huge, right? The potential is huge. So we look at Dogecoin's chart, and there we are. And let's zoom out and look at the bigger picture here. And here it is, right? And we were in the live stream, we were looking at like how Dogecoin trades on these big moves up, right, in short periods of time. We even had the one earlier in 2024 there. We had this most recent one here just in July. This is what's out there. How high is this one going to go? We don't know. But we can also go to total 2, right? We were looking at total 2, which is all alts, right? Same thing, right? Again, even alts go on these huge runs, right, over these short periods of time. And what's going to be this next one? What is that going to be? So what you do is you buy. This red box here was after that FTX collapse. Right, we had the whole Luna collapse and Voyager and Celsius and BlockFi and right. So you buy on these big red candles. You buy, you buy, you buy, you buy, you buy, you buy, you buy. Right, you're buying the dips on the way up, and then there's going to come a point, which I think it's going to be this fall. It's like, okay, let's stop buying now. Right. Again, this is just what I'm doing. I'm not a financial advisor here, just looking at the patterns, because you don't want to buy on these after the 2021 all-time high, right? November 2021. Once you start seeing those big red candles going down, you don't buy those, right? You wait, you wait, you wait, you wait. And that's what we're going to be looking at 2026. Is this going to play out this way? I'm not sure, but I'm not betting against it. There's going to be more FUD against crypto. It's going to come. You can count on it. But what do we do now for Doge? We wait. Doge is consolidating. You can complain about it or you can do something about it. That's what I say. Let me know in the comments below. What do you guys think about this Sunday dump? And how do you like Dogecoin going forward? Let me know. Give the video a like, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I appreciate the support. We'll see you next time.